The civil rights movement of the 1950s and 1960s was a pivotal moment in American history marked by the activism and sacrifice of the black community and their leaders. While the movement was primarily focused on the struggle for racial equality for black people, it also had significant implications for other marginalized groups, including immigrant communities. I say this because polls for reparations have been done, and it appears the majority of people from immigrant backgrounds as well as whites are against reparations for the descendants of slaves in America, although all of them have benefited and continue to benefit from the blood and sacrifices black Americans have made in this country. Not only are they against reparations, but many regurgitate white supremacist talking points, saying blacks complain about racism too much, but no one complains about the benefits they receive from black people complaining. One of the most important ways that immigrants have benefited from the civil rights movement is through the expansion of legal protections against discrimination. Many of the legal protections that now exist for immigrants are a result of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which outlawed discrimination on the basis of race, color, religion, sex, or national origin. This law helped to ensure that immigrants were protected against discrimination in areas such as employment, education, and housing. Immigrants in the United States have also benefited from changes in immigration policy that were influenced by the movement. In particular, the Immigration and Nationality Act of 1965, which abolished discrimination based on national origin. This was passed in part because of the broader push for civil rights and equality. Prior to the civil rights movement, immigration policies in the United States were explicitly white biased, with quotas that favored white immigrants from certain countries and excluded people of color. Prior to this, 85% of the country was white, 10% was black, Hispanics were 4%, and Asians were less than 1% of the population. Another way that immigrants have benefited from the civil rights movement is through affirmative action policies. Affirmative action refers to policies and programs that seek to promote diversity and address historic patterns of discrimination by giving preference to individuals from underrepresented groups. Affirmative action policies have helped to level the playing field for immigrants who may face barriers to educational or employment opportunities due to their race, ethnicity, or national origin. Immigrant communities have also benefited from the broader cultural changes brought about by the civil rights movement. The movement helped to raise awareness about the need for greater diversity and inclusion in all areas of society, including education, politics, and the workforce. Additionally, without the cultural changes brought about by the movement, it is likely that attitudes towards immigrants would be less accepting and inclusive. Despite these significant benefits, however, many immigrants in the United States remain largely unaware of the debt they owe to the civil rights movement and the ongoing struggle for racial justice. In some cases, this is due to a lack of exposure to black history and propaganda. As a result, immigrants may be less likely to see themselves as allies with black Americans and are likely to overlook the ways in which they have benefited from the struggles of others.